We use money all the time, but we hardly think about how it's made. How exactly are dollars printed? How's the European currency protected? And what innovations have there been in money printing in recent years? In this episode, you'll know all details about the production of money and the facts about it. This is Infinity, and today I'll tell and show you how money's actually made. Let's go! The US dollar is the best known and most important currency in the world. All of you held in your hands these bills with the images of American presidents and political figures, and most of you have used dollars more than once when buying something abroad or in your country. Interesting fact, the average life expectancy of a dollar bill is about 22 months. But how does this bill come to life in the first place? Dollars are born in the U.S. Bureau of Engraving and Printing, which is part of the U.S. Treasury Department. This bureau, founded in 1862 and located in Washington, D.C., is the largest producer of government security documents in the United States. The production of dollars begins with engraving on steel plates by craftsmen. This is a very important and time-consuming step because the quality of engraving determines the level of protection against counterfeiting. After the engraving's ready, a special paper has to be made. The banknotes are printed on the paper strengthened with synthetic fibers and consisting of 25% linen thread and 75% cotton thread. Banknotes made on this paper have an inner layer that's virtually impossible to counterfeit. Watermarks on dollars are obtained when fibers are pulled from this layer in a certain order. Also, at the preparation stage, security strips are sewn into the paper. After that, the paper is dried under the press and rolled. At this stage, the paper already has watermarks and security threads on it, so each roll can be sent for making banknotes of a certain denomination. The rolls are received and unwrapped. It's time to apply ink to the paper. With the exception of the image of the federal bank stamp and the numeric and alphabetic code on the banknote, the images and inscriptions on the front side of the banknotes are printed in black ink, which has magnetic properties. The images and inscriptions on the back side of the banknotes are printed in green ink, which does not have magnetic properties. After the ink is dried and the banknote design sheets are ready, they're scanned for defects at the next stage. After checking, the sheets are assigned serial numbers and Federal Reserve designations. In the workshop where the money gets to the final stage, the sheets are finally cut. After that, they're counted and packed. They're now ready to be sent to the Federal Reserve Bank, from where they'll spread to various banks in the United States and around the world. Dollars are a widely accepted currency, but in Europe, it's better to carry euros rather than bucks. The main European currency boasts a high total cash value, beautiful banknotes, and interesting features. For example, picking up a random euro banknote, you can determine which country it was produced for. Each Eurozone country puts a letter in front of the serial number. For example, it's Z for Germany, V for Spain, and N for Austria, etc. Euro banknotes are issued by decision of the European Central Bank. Euro banknotes are printed on cotton fiber paper that extends the life of the banknotes and makes them more difficult to counterfeit. To the touch, such banknotes are noticeably different from ordinary paper. The main images on the front side of the banknotes are made by metallographic printing. The digital denomination marking in the bottom left corner is made by means of two-color metallography. The back side of the banknote is made by offset printing, and the serial numbers are made by the high method of printing. The central part of the banknotes have a hidden security thread. If you look at a banknote in this light, this thread will look like a dark strip with repeating light text Euro and the numerical denomination made in upright and inverted images. Other means of protection of the Euro banknotes includes watermarks, microtext, holographic images, and stroke patterns. Euro banknotes are literally stuffed with all kinds of security features. That's why the euro is called one of the most protected currencies in the world. By the way, it's quite easy to check the authenticity of the banknote. You should replace the letter of the banknote with its serial number in the Latin alphabet. Then you'll need to add all the numbers in the serial number of the currency to the resulting number. You get a multi-digit number. All that remains to be done is to add the digits in this number to one another. For example, if you get the number 62, you'll need to add 6 and 2, you get 8. As a result of such addition, all genuine European banknotes will certainly turn out the number 8. Another number means the banknote is counterfeit. Pound sterling. Many people believe that the most expensive currency in the world is the pound sterling. 1 pound is equivalent to about $1.36. But in fact, the most expensive currency in the world is the Kuwaiti dinar. It's about 2.5 times more expensive than the pound. However, let's have a look at the pound, because this currency is better known, more interesting, and all of you have heard about it. The production of the pound sterling is about the same as for dollars and euros, making special paper, applying protective symbols and ink, cutting rolls into banknotes, checking for defects, and much more. All these stages are passed by the pounds. But the interesting thing is that pound sterling is not only made from paper. A few years ago, the production of polymer pound sterling notes was launched. Now there are already polymer 5-pound, 20-pound, and 50-pound notes in circulation. But why was it necessary to change the banknotes in the first place? The reason's simple. Polymer banknotes last twice as long as paper money. They're harder to tear, only begin to burn at 120 degrees Celsius, and are designed to repel dirt and moisture. More importantly, such banknotes are much harder to counterfeit. These banknotes are made on the basis of biaxially oriented polypropylene film, or BOPP film. The production of the polymer banknotes is tooled for layers, that is, different materials are layered on top of each other until the desired banknote's produced. It distinguishes the production of polymer banknotes from many other banknotes productions in the world. By the way, did you know that the pound sterling is one of the few national currencies that's retained its name to this day? Historians believe that this name appeared in the 12th century and originally meant a pound of pure silver. The Russian ruble's not far behind. This is the second oldest of the national currencies that's retained its name to the present day. Despite the fact that the Russian rubles are issued by the Central Bank of Russia, the banknotes are made not by the central bank, but by joint stock company Gaznak, state insignia. The paper for the production of Russian rubles is not usual. As is the case with other banknotes, it boasts a special composition. It includes reagents, watermarks, fabric fibers, and polymer threads. The material has high level of moisture resistance, abrasion resistance, light resistance, and other protective qualities. Also, a special solution is added to the paper, visible only under ultraviolet light. Once the paper's on the machine, the ink and images must be applied to it. After this step, the uncut sheets are sent to a special shop where they're cut into bills. After that, the money is counted by the machine and packaged. The bills are sent to travel around the country and beyond. Now, let's take our minds off paper money and have a look at coins. Everyone's seen the ridges on coin ribs, right? Did you know that these ridges were the idea of the famous physicist Isaac Newton? He suggested to fight counterfeiters with the help of such side ridges. It used to be that counterfeiters would cut off thin edges of coins to keep some of the precious metal. These scraps were then used to make counterfeit coins. The ridges solved this problem. Thanks to them, it was possible to immediately identify the authenticity of a coin as well as to save the treasury from losses. Double Eagle is the name of the most expensive coin in the world. And I don't mean the face value. Its face value is only $20, but it can be worth millions of dollars. The thing is, the remaining double eagles can be counted on the fingers of one hand, and they were minted a long time ago, from 1849 to 1933, hence such a price. Remember I told you that a dollar bill lives about 22 months? The same can be said of almost any other bill. Paper money is not durable. On average, it manages to pass through the hands of 30,000 to 50,000 people before it finally goes bad. What happens to the bills next? They're disposed of in special workshops. For example, every day in Russia, they destroy 600 million worth of worthless rubles, while the Federal Reserve Bank of New York destroys over $35 million worth of worn-out banknotes every day. Everyone's heard of such a term as inflation. Many people complain about inflation, but believe me, nowadays it's not that bad if you compare it to some historical cases. For example, Germany had a very bad time after World War I. The war ruined the German economy. At the time, the inflation rate reached 3 million% per month. Money had depreciated to such an extent that people used it instead of wallpaper. It was simply cheaper. But even this is not the limit. In Zimbabwe, inflation and denominations were far worse. Once the situation was so bad that literally everyone in that country was a trillionaire. And I mean it. In 2008 to 2009, inflation rate in Zimbabwe is about 230 million%. A single can of beer cost 100 billion Zimbabwean dollars at the time. And the country even issued the largest denomination bill in history, 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollars. That's all, guys. Since we talked about it, write in the comments what you would do if you became a trillionaire. Thanks for watching and see you later.